You lot, raise your glasses. This one's for Paul, Phil, and the Paranormal Soul Brother! Paul's got a torch and a tradies belt. Swears that he felt a cold hand on his bum. Phil's in the kitchen with a GoPro helmet, shouting, "Come at me, spirit, you cowardly scum!" Soul Brothers burning the bargain bin sage, reading vibes like a busted old gauge. Ghost wankers, ghost wankers, three brave idiots and a busted van. Ghost wankers, chasing bad vibes round the caravan. If your house feels weird and your dog won't stay, they'll rock up drunk and scare it away. Ghost wankers, best worst hunters in the whole damn land. Oh, yeah.
Okay, tonight we got a couple cool things happening. Zandine Smith, aka the Paranormal Soul Brother, has some UFO UAP footage. So before I introduce the guests, since we kind of do paranormal, we do entertainment and pulp culture and the whole works, is it possible, Phil, that we can see that footage and then Zandine can talk about it?
I was on mute. Zandine, you want to share that?
You know what? Let me see if everybody could like click onto my screen and make it large on their screen, and tell me if you could see it like that, because I have a video running in the back of this.
I can see.
I can see it.
I can see it right behind you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make it bigger. I don't know if it's bigger for you guys, but it is. Let me see.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
And where was this taken at?
This is in San Francisco, California. So let me move over. Maybe you can see it more from below.
Oh yeah. We see it. We see it.
Yeah. It'll keep
Now, I
running.
want to know how much missing time you had.
I'm trying to figure out. It's a chip like. Let me see. I don't know how big it is for you.
When I saw the video earlier, there was somebody else there with you. Who was that?
Oh, like the witness, a neighbor, like basically getting because I'm like, I asked, actually in this one right here, it says, am I the only one seeing this? Do I have, can I get a witness? And so, because I wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one, but you can't hear the sound.
That's interesting.
No, that's cool that somebody else saw it besides you, and that it was, that way you can confirm somebody was seeing it outside of the camera. Yep. Little white tic tac.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much, our Paranormal Soul Brother. That's very cool. Introducing the guests tonight, we got Matt Marchetti and Corey Patton of Plotless Comics. How in the heck did you guys get involved in this?
Basically, we started in high school, and we would draw comics on folded piece of paper until we ran out. And so this is some of my original stuff. I think the background's in the way, but so we just fold paper in half and draw until it ran out, and it's kind of evolved from there. We'd sell it to friends and family, and we started publishing, I think was it 2010, Corey?
Yeah, we did our first WonderCon show in San Francisco in 2010. That's really when we kind of kicked it off in a little bit more public way. Before then it was just a few people that we could get to in person, just in our social circles and things. So that was kind of the big kickoff.
It was back when WonderCon was still in San Francisco at the Moscone Center. It was really cool up there. We got to meet Alex Ross there years ago at one of the earlier WonderCons, and I brought one of my Marvels issues to sign, and Corey brought all of them. So I wish I brought them all, but he
all
gave me one
four,
to sign.
all four issues of Marvels. Yeah, I had Alex Ross sign him when back then he still had long flowing hair. Now, if you ever see him, he's like me.
So did you.
Which one of you guys are the writer and the artist?
Aha.
We both are. I write and illustrate Rabbit-Walrus, and Corey writes and illustrates Sadocat, and they have crossovers, and there's kind of a whole Plotless universe. So we're both the writers and the artists of each individual title.
Have you had any intercompany crossovers?
No.
No.
No?
Basically just I mean, there are some cameos, that are in my books that aren't authorized of many different characters.
Well, I did a crossover with your character in that ad. So I put my character with your character. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sadocat, that was cool.
So first crossover. Yeah. But so can I go to any comic book store and pick up your comic book?
Right now, we're at Empire Comics in Sacramento. We're at Zeppelin Comics in Benicia, so mostly California. Red Sky Comics in Merced, and we're about to be in Firefly Comics in Rexburg, Idaho this month. But mostly people buy them at our shows and online. We have a pretty good following of fans. We had a lot up in the Chico area. I actually was able to give one guy who lost all of his books in the Chico campfire. I just replaced them with free copies. That was really cool because they lost everything up there, and I was like, "That's the absolute least thing I can do." And here you go. So yeah, it's been fun. We really enjoy it. We've been surf buddies for years. We've known each other since high school, and we kind of just run ideas off of each other and make fun of each other's characters and tons of stories. Corey rewrites the stories like 200 times before he finally writes them. I just kind of draw them as I go, as they come to me.
Yeah. That's kind of the funny thing because we call ourselves Plotless Comics, but I honestly spend way too much time thinking it through and drawing continuity lines through my stuff. But I should spend more time drawing for sure.
Oh my! Now, is one of your characters like a rabbit?
So my character, yeah, there is another one called Saber Bunny. He's a bunny. You can see him in my background here. He loves everybody, but he accidentally hugs them to death with his claws when he tries to help or meets anybody. My character is the slightly insane, spontaneously combusting, frothing mutant ninja black belt samurai Rabbit-Walrus from hell, and he's kind of, his origin's kind of a mystery. There's going to be some teasers about where he actually came from. He's kind of a timeless character, and we have some other stories in development, a little bit about his history.
Would you say this is like a parody of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
The title definitely is, and I do have a scene where he tries to make regular turtles into Ninja Turtles by strapping silverware to their backs and putting masks on them and throwing them at Saber Bunny. So there's definitely some fun stuff. We actually have a really fun crossover with Sadocat and Rabbit-Walrus that does another poking fun at Ninja Turtles.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Do you think at some point in time, due to these characters becoming very popular, that they might get a cartoon?
I would love that. I wouldn't say no to it. Definitely. I've been looking at a little bit of animation software, but it's kind of above my skill level. My son can do some shorts. He just graduated the illustration program at BYU, Idaho, and he does really good 3D modeling. And he's not great at cartoons, but he can do some short animated things. I've been kind of talking to him a little about doing some.
Yeah, we'll have to get in front of a Netflix or something like that to pitch it to them someday and see what happens. But
And that might fall into the hands of Phil and Zandine. They both are pretty good with computer work.
nice.
Zandine, Phil, do you guys think you can do something like that? Make a cartoon?
I've never tried. I've
It is
never
very
tried
involved.
animation. Yeah, I imagine it is.
Zandine, you're on mute.
I was just gonna say to Matt and Corey, better than me. I first thought about you guys and the other comic book artists and entrepreneurs and stuff that we've had on. I thought to talk about AI, you know, I've learned from the other artists and comic book writers that the artistic part. Plus, I'm a comic book lover, but the artistic process to try to be duplicated and intermingled with an AI process, that's like a new thing, weird for some adaptive, some. But overall, the artistry and really what you do right now, without mass publicity, without like a without like a chat GPT strategy or something like that, taken away from the organic part of what you do. So it's, to me, for what I'm about to suggest to you would be with that in mind, knowing that, hey, you'd probably have to find a way to navigate it. But that being said, they've got things like Zoe, a new Opus, Omni, things in one prompt. If you can describe it correctly, and since you guys have the knowledge and you've been doing it many years like this, it would be so easy for you guys to have the software work for you, with you. And so a lot of people, they ask the questions, but then they don't ask it to automate. So basically you can automate your thoughts very easily. Stuff like why, stuff you don't have to do, certain coloring, certain formats, certain fonts, different things. It's a lot of ways that now each day there's about 5 or 6 agents that come out that can really help you do anything because the competition is so high. For instance, DeepSeek just reduced their prices by 75%. So Gemini gave away AI Studio free, which for you and me, no tokens, no nothing, just talk to a prompt. You don't have to be a coder. So you can actually literally describe with your voice or write it down to the T of, hey, I want this frame to go like this, or I want this to look like this. I want it to automate, like anything you could think of. So I would think right now it's really exciting in that way, but I don't know how you would incorporate that with your skill drawing. And they do have, by the way, any software you want to think of coding wise, where you just did it with your mouth, vibe coding, you could think of something that actually would let you draw what you want to draw, shades it in, so it doesn't have to take away from your uniqueness of drawing your character, even though they could copy it, but it would never be like you doing it. So, I don't know what you feel about that,
It's pretty cool, like the processes and the availability of what AI can do. Right now, a lot of artists are anti-AI, but the ones that are willing to learn from it can be pretty successful. It does have to have original artwork plugged in to create some things. I'm not super familiar with it, but I'm always afraid of robots taking over the world. So I'm a little, I'm not skeptical of AI. I think it's really cool what it can do.
Yeah.
And all the kids in the art program would get depressed every time their art professor mentioned it. And he's like, there's job opportunities here if you can learn how to embrace it. But then it's like a company will hire you, have you create the content, and then fire you and have the robots do all the rest of the work. So
That's right. Remember Colossus, the Foreman Project?
uh-huh.
By the time that movie was over, the whole world was screwed.
Yeah, and I guess I've heard they have like AI actresses now, so Hollywood's going to be really angry not getting millions of dollars to perform. But then you won't have their political views anymore.
It's so funny that you're talking about some artists, they get kind of pissed off about the AI and stuff like that. I had 2 artists for my books, and anything I requested, they would draw.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing everything in black and white. They weren't doing anything in color. So I took some of their drawings and got it colored through AI and pissed them off. Now we're not even talking. In fact, they got me blocked on Facebook, and I blocked them on Facebook. So, and we got into, and they said, well, what can I do to stop this from ruining my artwork with colors? I said, maybe write a letter to Elon Musk,
Yeah, it's a really sensitive subject. In fact, like Comic-Con the other year, there's an artist that was exhibiting like all AI work, and they like basically frog walked him out of it.
Yeah, I think fairly so
Oh
too.
shit!
I think we're kind of in an early phase of where AI, finding its usefulness. I think, for me, I feel like AI can't generate what we call art. It can generate images, and
Okay,
I think
okay.
I think we're in a weird place where like there's the ethical sourcing of the models and things like that, because a lot of it's just been scraped from people's work without any acknowledgement or compensation and all that kind of stuff. So I worry about those kind of issues with AI. I think that there's a role for it, as it kind of works itself out over time. But right now I'm kind of, yeah, I am definitely maybe more hesitant to like fully embrace it with workflows and things. I think it's great for things like where I'm trying to figure out how to do something in code or something, and I ask it like, well, how would you do this? And then I can see what code it gives me, and then I adapt it to what I need to do to, like, build an HTML page or something like that, right? And like, but when it comes to art, I'm a little more sensitive too, just because I do
Yeah,
feel like creativity comes from a human aspect. But
I feel that. I feel that.
yeah, yeah.
And people love cute characters, and your characters look cute. And it kind of reminds me of this guy, if you know who he is.
Oh, Bone, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
Bone.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's a cute character. He was super popular. I don't know if he's super popular now. I've been away from comic books, but your characters look like they have the ability to catch on with the public.
We met
Yeah, I hope
the
Yeah,
so. I
yeah,
think
Bone
definitely.
years ago, and he was telling us how he had to go to a Bible publisher to get his trade together because it was so big. Really nice guy. I actually have both collections, the black and white and the color that released
Oh,
recently of
okay.
Bone. And I really like Bone. I think it's still fairly popular, and they also started releasing it in scholastic books and the things that kids get at school, the little flyers. And I think that brought some of it back. And it's kind of cool because it has a dark and edgy tone, but it's also really fun. And I think he's gotten a couple of Eisner Awards as well.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it has. And
yeah.
I've been to the 1998 San Diego International Comic Con, and I met Stan Lee. I met a lot of the greats out there, and I used to be in the comic book business, so you know.
Cool. So
Nice.
you've seen a lot, a lot of
Oh yeah,
movies.
I've seen a lot. Yeah. Um, are your comic books, are they archived for people who want to, let's say, want to look at some back issues or whatever?
Yeah, I have two collections out right now. I think I have 8 issues. The first collection's over 100 pages, and it's got like issues I think 1 through 4, volume one. Um,
Oh yeah, I
and
see it now.
the fun thing is you can read them in just about any order. This one is one of my favorites because Kit Wallace did the cover. He's an artist. He's kind of an indie up and coming artist, and I think I'll turn this background up.
Is your character somewhat like Usagi Yojimbo?
Uh, I actually thought of that a little bit when I created him with the one ear. It was kind of a mix of Bongo and Usagi, but I was just trying to make up a fun long name and draw a cool rabbit character with fangs in art class back in high school. And then several other artists started making their own books, and making up some characters. And Corey is actually a really good writer as well, and he had a story that he wrote about. Bob the Badger, which is this badger that wants to commit suicide, but he gets abducted by aliens and can't die. And so he causes all kinds of destruction. And the stories are really funny. And so all of my friends were reading some of those, and they would draw some sketches of Bob, and they were really good. He actually is an excellent writer. I think his dialogue in Sadocat is just hilarious. It's really great. I think mine, I have okay dialogue, but it's more slapstick. Like the images are more of the funny stuff. But yeah, Sato Cat Volume One is awesome. I enjoy reading it. I've read it a couple times, and I watched him make it. So
Now, are your characters copyrighted with the Library of Congress?
I think we have the poor man's copyright, but we do put copyrights on all our books. I think Corey handled a lot of that process. I have one of the ones back from high school where I did certified mail to myself, to kind of do that originally. I don't know that it's in the Library of Congress, but we write copyrights in all of our books.
Oh, that's cool. I just want to know if I could steal them or not.
Well, you know,
You know, usually when you register it, people steal it. I mean, when you keep it like that, I mean, one way or the other, I mean, it's his idea, so you know, he'll be able to track it down. But when it's a good idea like that, people want to steal it. You know, people, you know, they're not honest like you or whatever. You know, they need a head start or something. But the way you did it like that in good faith and everything, I mean, like you come this far with no problem, right?
yeah, well,
yeah.
every now and again we'll see an idea we had, you know, get picked up in a Disney thing this way or that way.
Oh
We're like,
yeah.
hey, we're like, hey, we had the idea, and you know, what do you know? Disney's on top
They
of
have
it, of course.
spies everywhere.
That's what I'm talking about. See that type of stuff. A beat goes dun dun dun, and then they go dun 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 dun. You know, people are doing that. So it's like, but
Yeah.
but I want to say about both you guys when you describe that process, I could feel when I'm looking at the character. I felt like humor in it. I felt like that's a cool character, like the energy, and then you saying he's a good writer. It must be a really good combination.
It's pretty fun. We, you know, when I grew up, I wanted to be a comic strip artist and have something in the newspaper and things. And, you know, we saw where newspapers went. So it's kind of a good thing. I guess I didn't go that way. But, you know, I had all these characters that I was drawing already. And then I saw Matt was about 3 pages into his Rabbit-Walrus comic in high school. And I was like, oh, you know what? I need to switch over to comic books because he's having a wild time just making it up as he goes. And so you know, I
Sure.
created Sadocat right around then and started putting my book together and brought in all my comic strip characters into that. But that's why it's kind of got that. It's kind of, I like to say it's a comic strip style in a way, but in a comic book format. So, and of course we wanted to, it was right around then that like Ren and Stimpy was out and
Yeah.
other things that were like, you know, back in the mid 90s where we were getting started. And so we really wanted to amp up the violence in there just to make it a little, you know, that juxtaposition of the cuteness and then the crazy. So
Yeah, they're
I
cute,
like
but
it.
they're all evil.
I
they
love
they
it. I
got
love it.
they're
I
animals
love
with
it.
superpowers, and the superpowers didn't improve their personalities. So Sadocat kind of
Oh
does what a cat
snap!
would do if it had superpowers.
You
Hey,
said
the
didn't improve
reason
your personality.
If your
yeah,
cat could eat you, it would.
the reason why I was asking you guys about the copyrights and stuff like that is because I actually had an experience. Do you guys know who Jim Valentino is?
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I've
Jim
heard of it.
Valentino, who I was pretty really good friends with. I gave him a story about myself in which
Mm.
my mother told me she saw my comic book collection. I was a young boy, and she says, "You know, if you don't get rid of these comic books by the weekend, I'm burning them." I
Oh
said,
wow.
"What?
So
No, hell no!" And so they took off that for a couple days. They're doing something, and they had my brother watch me. But my brother was too interested in this girl and left me all alone, home alone. Ah! And here I was at the house, and I moved all those comic books into the crawl space of the house in Monterey, California. Every single comic book was saved because I put them in the crawl space. My parents, there's no way they could have fit in there. Only a small child could fit into this crawl space. To this day, they're probably still there. But anyway, I told
go back and take them out.
yeah, and I told Jim, and I had some comic books. You know, I watch what is that? Pawn Stars, and they every once in a while they'll bring these comic books that are worth a lot of money. And I said, "Oh my God, I had that comic book. I could have paid $62,000."
Oh man.
Just
Yeah,
go back to that old house, knock on
Yeah.
the door, and then go in
Well,
and break out their drywall and take your comics.
I just wonder what kind of supernatural things are going on in that house that's buried. It's you know it's on top of a comic book graveyard, so they're probably having wild dreams and things are moving across the room.
oh yeah, and well, anyway, I told the story to Jim Valentino. The next issue of his comic book has has my whole story in there, except he used a different boy. I said, Jim, at least give me some credit for it. So, I mean, I kind of bugged him about it. And so
Mhm.
the next comic book he had, he actually gave me credit. And I said, Thank you.
That's cool.
Yeah. I don't want no money. But if I wanted your comic books, start collecting them, are they ebooks and are they printed books? Are they both?
We have some online at plotless.com that you can read online for free, and you can order all the volumes. I don't know if we have individual issues up on the site, but if someone just
Yeah, we do.
messaged us, we can send individual issues to them. It's kind of cool. Mine's international. I had some people in Australia buy it a few years ago,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
um, we the site's pretty fun. There's I think we have a few of the books up, and my most popular one is a Star Wars spoof where the characters meet the Ewoks, or they're called Weewoks in the book, and they end up literally
Yeah,
eating them
let's see that.
and
Let's
wearing
see.
them. Let's see. I think I have some of the original artwork here. Give me a moment, and I'll
Oh,
pull
okay.
it up. So we come up with these gags, and sometimes we end up making a whole entire issue over the gag. And so sometimes I'm like, kind of like, maybe if we just did like let's see.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm starting to see it.
Those are cats in the background, and I need to
Yeah,
figure
you're
out.
you're
It's
invisible. You
invisible.
gotta lean back and hold it in front of you, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. Lean back.
There you
There
go.
we go. So you can kind of see that they're wearing skins and they have little
Oh, yeah,
Weewoks
yeah.
for their feet. Um, so it's kind of fun. When I was really young, I got to visit the Aztec and Mayan ruins, and one of the stories that stuck with me is how they would kill their enemies and skin them and wear them. So kind of brought
Oh,
that out.
like
And
skinwalkers. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so um, but yeah, they're like it's kind of fun because it's like cartoon violence, so they're pretty okay for basically 7 and up. Um, I did have a mom that was offended once because my character has "From Hell" in it, and it was kind of funny because this woman, we were visiting some friends down in I think it was St. George, Utah for Thanksgiving, and she had a young kid that was a nephew of one of our friends that we were there to visit, and I gave him one of my cards that had the pictures of our characters and the name of the character, and she got so offended that the word hell was on there. But we found out later on that she sat this 7-year-old kid or 6-year-old kid down and taught him every single swear word just so he would know which ones were bad. So I'm like, can't he just learn it organically? So you're offended by this word, and yet you taught him every swear word that there is in existence, so he just would know which ones were bad. So
Now that's good parenting, let me tell you.
yeah, he had quite the vocabulary.
But by the way, when I was a kid, I drew and wrote my own comic. I think it was probably still in grade school. It was called The Weekly Funnies for a Nickel. It had a circulation of maybe 10, including friends and relatives. I had a superhero strip, a science fiction strip, a cartoon strip, and I can't remember what else. And I still have some of those somewhere. I'll have
That's
to
really
show them on
cool.
the show. But I wanted to ask you guys, when you were kids, what were the original comic books that you were drawn to? Uh, what the DC, Marvel, other independents, and superheroes or whatever.
I'll let Corey go first since I've been
Ah,
talking
yeah.
too much.
Well, I could say growing up, I didn't get my hands on a comic book. I think I can remember the very first comic book I ever bought was a Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom comic book I picked up on a road trip one time in a gas station, and I thought that was a cool comic. And then I really liked Spider-Man as a kid. I used to like wait for him to come on to the Electric Company, and I was always disappointed if he wasn't on that episode of the Electric Company. But so I liked watching the Spider-Man and Friends cartoon and things. When I finally did pick up comic book collecting, it was kind of as a freshman in high school. My friends took me over, and I went to I picked up the Batman Year Two trade paperback, illustrated by Todd McFarlane, and that was a pretty epic comic to get started with. The art was really cool, the story was pretty epic, and it was unusually violent, probably for some of the comics at that moment. But and then I picked up, I kind of leaned into Batman, and then picked up Spider-Man. That first Spider-Man #1 with McFarlane again, picking up that series was right around the time I started collecting comics too. So got all into Spider-Man, Batman, X-Men, just gradually the weekly habit grew. So I was bringing home, 20 books a week or something. And so now I got a huge, huge collection now sitting on my bookshelves. But
Cool.
yeah,
Will they fit in your crawl space?
yeah, I think they won't fit in my crawl space anymore. My wife's
He's got a
pretty.
man cave.
I got a man cave now,
Man cave office.
which is good. I'm allowed to keep as many comics as I can fit in my garage now, but
What
and
about
I'm
you, Matt?
cramming them in.
So I grew up reading Garfield, and everybody liked Garfield those days. And I also wanted to be a cartoonist, and I would draw my own comics from like fourth grade on. The very first comic that I drew was like this gopher and a snake, like a gopher snake that chased it, and it was called Mofo. And I would do things like have the snake tear off the fur on the gopher's underside, so you'd see its butt, and the whole strip would be in a tunnel, so you'd like follow the strip through this underground tunnel. I really liked the Far Side, and I used to make my own Far Side comics. I still have a folder of a bunch of my own Far Side things that I did. Later on, I got into Calvin and Hobbes, and I've always liked Bill Watterson's work and his imagination. Probably one of my favorite strips. And then I actually started buying comics probably around fifth grade or so. I lived in Montera on the coast near Half Moon Bay, and there was a liquor store in Moss Beach, and I'd ride my bike or walk down there, and I'd get G.I. Joe. And I thought G.I. Joe was really cool because they died in the comics. Like you'd see the Cobra people getting blown up, and the cartoon, everybody ended up in a coma because they couldn't kill anyone. And I was like, what's wrong? They never die, you know? And so I was in, I think, sixth or seventh grade one time, and I actually brought a G.I. Joe comic to school. And this one kid was like, oh, you read G.I. Joe comics, you're lame. And then I showed him one of the Cobra soldiers getting blown up, and he's like, oh, that's cool. So I made a comic called G.I. Duck that I did, which was G.I. Joe with these duck guys. And I made another comic that I called Rambo Chicken, and it was this chicken with a rooster with a heavy metal Metallica shirt, and he was all buffed out. And he would a friend of mine from grade school named Jeremy LeVay had a character called Dynamite Duck, so I just draw pictures of my character killing his all the time, and then he'd draw back and forth. And then I created a character called Robo Duck, which was before Gizmo Duck, by the way. Disney spies even back then. So whenever I saw Gizmo Duck and people would say, oh, you copied Gizmo Duck, I'm all, no, I made this first. So I made a series with that, and I was in like the school newspaper, some of my sketches of that character. And then I didn't really share my comics with a lot of people. I did another one. It's a full sketch diary called Nessie, which is still filled with some of my work from when I was in like fourth grade through junior high school. And I just kind of filled it up. And it's pretty fun. I enjoyed doing that.
Nice.
And then one time on the school bus, this one girl that was kind of a bully, like opened my backpack and took out a bunch of my GI Duck comics and was sharing them with everyone on the bus, and they liked them. And so I was like, that was cool. I was, because I just would draw it. I didn't share it with a lot of people. And so that was kind of a little bit of an inspiration for me. So, and then I got into Spider-Man, X-Men, Jim Lee's X-Men run, when the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man #1 came out. My very first Rabbit-Walrus issue makes fun of the fact that in that issue it keeps saying doom, 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 which is supposed to be the drum. And my comic, it's ding, 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 and it's these Santas ringing bells. And so in the first like 4 pages, I make fun of about 13 things in pop culture. And that one is in my volume 1, and I just released the color version of it as an individual issue this last month, and that's available, I think, online and in at Empire Comics right now. So my history.
Go ahead. In the early 60s, I bought the first issue of Spider-Man right off the rack. And Christmas was coming up. So my mom said, you can buy 3 comic books, but you can't look at them. I'm going to wrap them and then go under the tree. So it was Spider-Man, and I wish I could remember what the other 2 were. But we were dealing with a genius here because we had a gift exchange in grade school. So I bought Alan the exact same comic books that I couldn't look at because they're going to be wrapped under the Christmas tree. So I had sneak preview of all 3 of them.
Nice.
Hey guys,
I didn't have a crawl space, but
Hey, you guys, so we got 1 minute and 43 seconds to go. So it's going to shut down. Zoom's going to shut down. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and you guys will get a second link. And you know something, Matt? You need to take all of those original drawings and everything and post them on your website. And Corey, if you have some too. And people would love to see that, how you guys began. And yeah, you need to document that and put it on the website so everybody can look at it.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been working on a Nessie run, so that would be fun.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go.
definitely.
Hey, Matt, do you think and it's not a test, it's just a love of the art because I can't do it. Do you think maybe we can get a sketch from you like later on, like something you do like spontaneous?
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
That would be
Corey
oh
M.
man, that would be that would be cool.
Zandine, Corey M. Mac draw.
Let's get one from both, man. I mean, that would be
Yeah,
like
okay, yeah.
that would be epic for the show, man. I mean, to have the guys, I mean, people, that's real skill, man. I mean, I couldn't do it. I know that.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
could.
my comics are probably worth more money now. I mean, a nickel, it's probably 25 cents for each one of them.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
your
tell you
Spider-Man's
what.
probably worth a little bit more.
On our when we come back on in 10 minutes, when we come back on, I'll have a picture of Zandine. You'll see how I drew Zandine.
Oh man, do we want to see? Oh man. Probably for my young, probably for my crazy.
I'll
Okay.
fix your wagon.
Is it the blue? Is it
Boy,
bluesy or
there's
is it
an old
Zandine?
expression.
Come on.
It's just scales, brother. It's just scales.
Okay,
Hey.
I promised everybody I would draw a picture of Zandine, but I drew a picture of Zandine, Steve, and Phil. And here it
Okay.
is. Are you guys ready? Zandine's on the top.
Okay.
With the
I like
sunglasses.
it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a good thing you're retired, Paul.
There's Phil.
Nevertheless, Steve is the most handsome.
And there's Steve. And if you look, Steve looks like a gray.
And I look like the Demon Warrior.
But anyway, okay, so going back to Corey.
That's pretty good,
Matt.
Paul.
Anyway, I used to go to, I live in Sacramento, so I used to go to A1 Comics and Broadway Comics. Are they promoting your comic books?
Matt, I think we're only in Empire Comics in Sacramento so far, but yeah, we'll have to see about A1 and then Broadway.
Yeah, you definitely.
They should have it. They need it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A1 Comics is that's a very popular comic book store. And in fact, they have, it's a franchise of it now. I mean, they have one in Roseville and one in Sacramento. I used to sit on the panel and sign off on different stuff with Ron Lim. Do you guys know who Ron Lim? Ron Lim, he's from Sacramento.
Oh,
Right
cool.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were mentioning Jim Valentino, and in the break I went and dug out my my Shadowhawk #1.
Oh,
that I
yeah,
had the foil
Shadowhawk.
emboss cover.
Hey.
Nice.
What? Let's see that again.
Yeah.
I love the design of that character. I like the way they made him look.
Oh man.
Jim Valentino also came out with Leave It to Chance. And that's where he took my story and placed it into his comic book.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, the whole story that I told. I'm sitting there. In fact,
Flattery.
that's when I was smoking cigarettes, and I was over there having a cigarette, telling him the story, and I find it in his comic book.
Never trust a comic book artist.
Yeah.
Biters.
Yeah. But yeah, I was telling Matt that all that original artwork, people love looking at that stuff, seeing how comic creators got started, and all those old comic books in there. You need to get them all scanned, put them up on the website, so everybody, the whole world, can see it. And I would love to see it. So
Yeah. Well, this is my first Sadocat comic I drew. It was just an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper
Oh,
folded
that
in
is
half.
Whoa.
great.
And
Oh.
it looks
like
a
it.
little beanie in there, but yeah, you get the first kind of like the quintessential Sadocat panel with him just
Oh,
We're honored. The
incinerating,
first Sadocat panel. Look at us. We getting that. Oh, that's proms. Oh, shit.
back in like
Look at that.
1992. Yeah.
that is cool.
Yeah, 1992. Okay.
Yeah, I
I
love
have
stuff like that.
my one of my first issues. This is number 3. One of the ones that is drawn by hand. I have a few copies of these that I bring to shows where people can see.
Wow. Yeah,
Hey.
that is
Oh,
awesome.
sheesh.
So yeah,
That is
That's
awesome.
and then
Show me some more. I want to see some more.
that's a
Yeah.
comic that I've done.
And then like the upgraded version, because I went back and redrew Sadocat #1, so it's more a little bit more
From that to
colorful
this.
now, and yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's cool.
Damn.
I wish I was an artist. I wish I was
This
an
shit is
artist.
cool, man.
I
Right
have
on.
I have some of my updated artwork on screen share, but I don't know if you guys have that feature here.
Yeah, we got screen. It's
Yes,
screen
yes,
share.
yes, we
You
do.
should be able to
Do a
screen
request
share.
here.
It's a little cumbersome, but you can make sure you don't want to have any other files you don't want on the screen. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Oh my
Um,
God, Matt, who's that?
You're doing your taxes in the background. We'll get to see your social
I
security.
have my
and,
social security. And
Matt, that
Social
looks like,
Security.
yeah, Matt, that looks like Epstein.
the
No,
guy,
don't go there. Don't go there.
the guy on the phone that called me said he was a Nigerian prince, and he, asked
Oh,
for
you
my-
you was gonna lose some money then. The money was gonna be gone after that.
Well, the Nigerian princes always tell the truth.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I'm trying to.
Oh,
Yeah. Are you guys?
yeah, they
seeing this?
put up.
So let me pull up my. I have a file of stuff I had that I was going to share for the
Oh, cool.
the interview.
Zandine, do you know this character?
Yeah, that's Nightcrawler, right?
Yeah.
From X-Men,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
I mean, I kind of crawl at night. We got a lot in common. Bluesy at night, it's cool. All right.
Steve, you knew who this was, right?
Actually, I didn't, but I do now that you mentioned.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
His head's a little
We were
big.
shaking
you
it
know.
pretty fast like that, though. It's kind of,
Yeah, he's
And-
progressive phallic.
So while
let me
Matt's
get.
pulling up his stuff, I'll show you. I've got an Easter special comic I did where
Oh, that is cool.
Sadocat and
Oh, shit, that
Rabbit-Walrus
is-
team up.
that's
Yeah,
top
yeah.
notch.
They're chasing
Yes.
down the Easter bunny, and they end up in a cave full of bunny rabbits. And I'll show you this. It took for I really committed to drawing like all these bunny rabbits in this like cave.
Wow.
Oh, shucks.
But once Sadocat realizes
That's
there's
insane.
he realizes a thing called stalactites, and he starts sticking them to the ceiling. And then
That
of course,
is awesome.
of course they can't just stop at one or two. They got to do
Hella creative. Oh my God.
well,
How
Rated
do you,
PG.
how do you
huh?
guys get these stories in your head?
Inspirations.
Is it just
Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
It's like part Monty Python, part Dracula.
yeah.
Hey, Corey, have you guys ever like gone to like a Airbnb or some retreat or anywhere, like both you two, and just sat down and like worked on something like in the mountains or somewhere or some shit like that?
Yeah, we when we were in high school, we lived not too far from each other. I would hop a brick wall, walk through a churchyard, and hop over another wall, and then get to Matt's house, and we'd hang out and watch, MTV or and then eat a bunch of Pez or sugared cereals like Count Chocula or whatever, and just
Oh yeah,
crank
yeah.
these ideas. So there was a lot of our ideas, or on the way we'd go surfing all the time. So we'd took us about 45 minutes to get there and back again. So we'd bounce ideas the whole time there and back, and stop off at the comic stores. And
Right.
so yeah, we
Amazing.
definitely done that. Now he's not too far from me. He's up in Sacramento area, and I'm in the Tracy area. So we
Okay.
we still get together once in a while, but it's always good,
Okay,
especially
okay.
at conventions and stuff. It's
So
always
you're
a good
landlocked now. You're not really doing much surfing where either one of you are at.
It takes a little longer, and I'm feeling my age a little bit too. Last time we were just out there a couple weeks ago, and I was just kind of floating out there at the hook at the end of 41st Street.
Corey,
Just
were you
floating, no
saying,
surfing.
Corey, were you saying you're from Tracy?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Fremont, but yeah, I've been living in Tracy the last we're getting close to 2 decades now. So yeah.
Okay. All right. I've done some paranormal
From
investigations.
the beach.
Oh,
You
right
sure
on.
have.
Hey, you see this character right here, Matt?
Oh yeah. What do you got
That's-
there? That's not Skeletor, it's something else.
No. That's legendary Dark Silhouette. My only comic book I ever published with that character.
Wow.
But
That's
you
cool.
know, this is something that you guys will appreciate. Okay, my character, one of my artists. I'm not an artist. You can tell. You've seen this already. So I'm not an artist. I'm a writer. But I went to one of my artists and I said, "Can you please draw my character shaking hands with Spider-Man?" They said, "Yeah, Paul, we'll do that." They did it, and that piece of artwork, they sent it over to Marvel Magazine. Marvel Magazine published it, officiating my character shaking hands with Spider-Man. It placed my character into the Marvel universe, and here it is.
Oh, sweet.
That's awesome.
Can't see it.
You see it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I see it.
Yeah, so
Oh, wow.
I can actually
Wow.
say one of my characters is in the Marvel universe. It's not too many people can say that.
That was really cool.
No. No,
Mine didn't
not at
quite
all.
make it that far. But can I tell you a quick story about the olden days? It's 1977. I go down to the basement and dig out a stack of my comic books I haven't looked at forever, like about maybe 2 feet deep. And so I took it to there was a convention in Farmington Hills, which is a suburb of Detroit. It's just kind of a small convention, small building. And I had the third issue of Spider-Man. I had the first issue where Iron Man appeared in Strange Tales. I had a bunch of early Fantastic Fours. Anyway, long story short, I sold everything, and they were a lot of them were beat up. 400, nearly $450 in $1977 I walked
Wow.
out with. Man, I had all these like small bills stuffed in my pockets. There wasn't any room for them. And I'm walking out of this building looking over my shoulder, praying that I didn't get rolled.
Oh,
In Detroit.
Man.
I wonder
But
what they're worth today.
I
Yeah.
loved the early Tales to Astonish, Tales of Suspense, Journey into Mystery, about the time that the second wave of superheroes were coming in, like the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. I bought my first issue of the Fantastic Four was #9, and man, I loved Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko but I love those early monster comics as well.
a
Even though
lot
they're
of
kind
those
of
comics
repetitious.
are worth money.
I know it.
A lot of them.
Well, if I had just held on to them for another few decades, I'd be rich. But I was rich then.
My God. Hey, Corey and Matt, do you guys have a letter column?
We don't so far. I guess social media kind of takes the place of the letters column
Yeah.
a lot of times these days, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Right.
antisocial so far, so I haven't really taken advantage of that.
Okay.
We thought about doing like a funny letter page, like just with a bunch of fake letters from people,
Yeah.
like make. So
Yeah.
we might do that one day where they'll be like insulting us or just have these random funny ideas.
Hey, maybe we should write some letters under assumed names.
There we
Yeah.
go.
My name's going to be Paul Dale Roberts. I'm gonna just
Corey,
I-
Corey and Matt, do you know? Okay, I'm going to give you a word and tell me if you know what that word means. Letter hack.
Letter hack. Yeah, I don't know.
I think I might know. Isn't that someone that writes magazines and comics a lot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you Google Paul Dale Roberts letter hack, I'm a letter hack. I've had over 1,000 letters published. Actually, I had more than that.
Wow.
Uh-huh. I
Guess
had one
who-
published in Savage Dragon early on, and they edited it. They like changed the letter. They cut out a bunch of it, but they put it in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was always trying to get a no prize in the GI Joe comics that where you would like write in with a mistake, and I don't know what the no prize was. I think it was just like an envelope or something or a stamp. Like I don't know
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
else forgot one.
So,
Yeah.
so Paul, were they all the same letter?
No,
Hey,
but,
you know,
but I'll tell you one thing. George R. Martin, who wrote Fire and Ice, Game of
Right.
Thrones, he was a letter hack.
That
His
doesn't
name,
surprise me somehow.
his name is right
yeah,
there.
that's right. He competed with you, but you know what? A question that's gonna drive you and Steve crazy. Before I ask it, I want to say to Corey and Matt. You know, although I mentioned about the about AI, I wasn't. You know, the artistry and making a comic book is one thing, but wouldn't you guys consider that for making a movie or a cartoon? Because for that, it might be ideal. You know, where you're actually doing cartoon reels, so it's like maybe you might not mind that you're generated in the same medium because say like Omni, they have that effect where you put your finger into a mirror and it's like it's water. Like everything is like, but like I said, it's what your expertise is, and it'll only come out the way you describe it. And because all that, all those nuances that you've learned over the years, that can't be duplicated. But then I'm with you on this, Matt, where you don't want them to necessarily, because they learn from you and they steal everything. So once they got it, like that. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I'd
mean,
be
I would
interested to
love.
see. I feel like I'm a bit of a control freak too about it. Like I don't want to leave too much up to the chance and where AI can maybe take some liberties.
okay, okay,
I wonder, I do wonder. So I probably wouldn't like, drop in an image and say, animate this 30-second sequence or something. If I got into that, I imagine it would be more like something integrated into a animation workflow. So maybe I'm putting in some keyframes and then just saying, put the put the 4 or 5 frames between these two things, or
okay,
that
okay,
kind of thing.
okay,
I wonder if that's maybe where it might
okay.
might be a boost or something like that. But like I said, I think we're still early on. I'm kind of sitting back and waiting to see where we get
I
to.
tried that, by the way.
Yeah,
I tried that,
yeah.
and it actually worked. I used three pictures, and it was like a video for like a beach type thing, and it
Oh yeah.
filled it in. I used one to kind of repeat, and it just showed a different angle. I mean, you get creative. Well, before you finish, I want to ask Steve and Paul, do you guys, and you guys might remember this too, do you remember on the back of the comic books when it said 20 stamps for some toy or 50
Yeah,
stamps for
yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like they stopped that after a while. What if people start that up again? But I feel you, Corey and Matt. As far as the AI, I was just trying to think of like ways that that anybody felt like it wasn't intrusive. Like, but it's really no way around it, I guess. I
I
mean,
mean,
to
I would
feel to
love
not
for
feel
AI.
violated, because
Yeah.
they made me pay on Suno. On Suno, I tried Suno one time. I did a riff with my mouth, and when I went back, I hadn't registered. I just tried that little thing. They said try it. They give you the demos free on all the stuff. And so when I wanted to use it again to see what it did, it said, well, yeah, if you want to pay $5 for the registration. I'm like, what? Okay, so that's how you guys are doing, right? You're gonna steal my shit as soon as I say it into the mic, and now I gotta pay you. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna pay this $5 one time, but I learned my lesson, and everything else now, if I do it, I'll keep it. That's just what I took for that. I'm like, but I got it back, but I did have to pay $5. You know.
Corey,
I,
Matt,
yeah.
oh, to promote your comic book, because you were saying that you have never been to A1 Comics. The owner is Brian Peets.
Oh no,
And
I have been there. I actually met with one of his managers a while back. I just never followed up. I went to World's Best Comics as well a long time ago when we first started publishing, and he's like, uh, I showed him my books, and he's all, "What's your wholesale price?" And I was like, "Oh, what? What's a wholesale price?" I didn't never follow up. I know that he would have carried the books, and I never followed up with that. With A1, I talked to
That's
the
real.
office manager, and he's all, "Oh yeah, go meet with the manager at the other one, and they could probably have you out." And I never really followed up with that. I think I went on Free Comic Book Day, and I was trying to talk to him, and he was super busy, and so I was like, I don't know if he really wants to talk to me at all. So I didn't really go back there, but I know they have a little bit of local artwork. But Empire Comics Vault is really great for local artists. There's a lot of really great stuff there, and they really are good at promoting it. I don't know where Broadway is. I don't have. I did go to. I've also been to Big Brother, I'll have to check out Broadway. I think I might have been to that one. Is that in South Stack?
Well, that's in downtown Sacramento on Broadway, and I don't think the original owner that I knew, I don't think he owns it anymore. I think he sold it. And also, too, Brian Peets. Do you know the background history of Brian Peets?
No.
Okay, he is a former San Francisco 49er and Seattle Seahawk
Wow,
Ah,
football player.
that's cool.
He's got his own card.
Uh-huh.
nice. I ran into another football player, Bubba Paris, in Tracy one time. I was in a little restaurant, and he started talking to me, and he says that,
Nice.
he's like, so who's your favorite team? He asked me, right? Now, to be fair, he was wearing a black sweatpants and a kind of a silver jersey. Now, I said, I grew up in the Bay Area, and I watched football when my dad watched football, and we're East Bay, so I kind of grew up rooting for the Raiders. He's like, "Oh, how are you going to be telling me you vote for the Raiders?" He's a former
Oh,
49er. He's a former 49er. So I was like, "Oh, sorry about that." A lot of Niner fans here in Tracy, but
oh, shucks.
I 50 that one wrong, but that was pretty funny. But I'm like, "Hey, man, you're dressed like a Raider today. I don't know what you want me to do."
Oh, shit.
I actually got to meet Andy Reid years ago when he was a tight end coach for the Green Bay Packers. He went to church with us, and we were missionaries at the time, and we
Oh,
got to go
wow.
on Lambeau Field and go on the green and go in the locker room. I met his family. We went to his house a number of times. Really great guy. His kids were babies at the time. It was a long time ago. It was like in 1994, 1996-ish era. I was in Green Bay for a whole year, and Ty Detmer, who was the second string quarterback at the time for the Packers, also went to church with us. So it was pretty cool to meet them. And Andy Reid was just a great guy, and seeing him on TV, as the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs and winning the Super Bowls. I saw his wife come out and, well, I know them. I remember them.
That's awesome.
Oh, what's kind of interesting, like in my family, my brother Andy was all into football. I'm not into football. It's like I really don't know too much about football, except that the football is made out of a pigskin. He would give me. Oh wait, I gotta tell you. Andy would give every Christmas. He would give me a damn football, and he would wrap it up. And he goes, "Guess what this is? It's a fucking football." But anyway, but he tried out. He tried out for the Oakland Raiders. So I have to give him some credit for it. He didn't make it because he smoked too much.
Hmm.
But
Don't
when I was
footballs have to be vegan now? I don't think they're pigs again anymore.
yeah, probably, yeah. But speaking of football players, also too, I did a paranormal investigation at certain areas on I-5 where Randall Woodfield, a serial killer, and he was a football player, a professional football player, and he killed several women up and along I-5, and we did some paranormal investigations along that route.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um,
Wild.
do
So he
you
was
guys ever?
multi-talented.
Yeah, yeah. Do you guys ever plan to use AI into your comics, or are you going to leave that completely out?
Yeah,
I would
I'm
love
leaving
to
it
have a
alone
comic.
myself so far.
I mean, I would love to have a cartoon or video game, and I don't have the ability to animate it. So, I mean, it's something I would maybe consider, but I'd need to have like creative control over it, and it wouldn't be able to be given to all the robots out there that want to steal your work. But I mean, AI does scare me because there's so many jobs that are blocked by the AI bots that don't even, kids are having a really tough time out of school trying to get jobs with their degrees because the algorithm doesn't even let them see their resumes. So I'm not like anti AI. I'm open to some things with it, but then I don't like robots taking all people's work, and there has to be an artistic ability in there somewhere. But I do see the potential, like for people that can't draw at all, or and always want to tell a story. And I think your intro is AI, and I think it's hilarious. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
I think I saw somebody one time, they're like, I wrote this book and I'm looking for can somebody do an AI cover for me? And I was thinking, there's a lot of people that could draw, you could probably make use of, right? Like if you're, why not draw the picture and have AI write the book. That's my that's my other way I look at that. So I'm a little leery of AI taking creative work where people might be able to get involved. So I would, yeah, it would be cool to have
Yeah.
a cartoon or a video game or something of my stuff. But and I think there, like I said, I think there's some workflow possibilities with AI that I'd be amenable to. But I think my preference is to keep people in the creative seats. But yeah, like I say, early days. So
We do the grueling work of drawing it frame by frame and taking way too long on
Yeah.
pages that you could have done in minutes. So
yeah,
like
yeah.
sometimes I get through a page and I'm like, oh my gosh, that took so long. I like the result, but then sometimes I'm like, man, I don't even know why I put that in there. Sometimes we'll shorten some scenes just because we're like, because it does, a comic does take a lot of work, especially when you're
Yeah.
doing all of it, the writing, coloring, inking, penciling. I've just started going over into digital a little bit more. All of my first original books were all by hand, pen and ink and Prismacolor, and then I'm releasing a Christmas special this hopefully November. And the original one that I did, I actually drew the whole thing and inked it like at one time. I didn't like pencil it at all, and I'm taking a lot of the work from that, and then I'm cleaning it up and putting it in the collection. And then I had my son do the cover for it. And, it's kind of fun to look at the stuff and see how the art's progressed. But I first started doing backgrounds, like just using like digital,
Yeah.
and then now I'm doing more of the whole books in digital. But the problem is you can make things so perfect that you end up redrawing lines over and over to make them perfect, and then you get a little lazy when you ink again because you can't just blot it out or go back. So
Hey,
when I do original artwork at shows, I always have to be really careful and maybe bring some white out.
Yeah. And,
hey, two things I want to. So, sorry about that, Phil. I mean, Paul. I want to, before it gets too late, I want to see if I can get him to do the sketch. But I want to say, you guys mentioned about the games. They also have features on pretty most of the LMs, but free on Gemini, where you could actually make a two-player game. If you can figure out what features you want, like power-ups, how many lives, stuff like that, you can tell it, and it'll make a mock version. You could at least get a something that you like that's not open source, because you don't have to publish it, but you can
Mhm.
have like a mock version that you don't put everything. You can at least see how it works. So that's the thing. But before we run out of time, man, can I get some sketches from the experts, not us?
Yeah, I have my pad here.
and
I don't
and
know.
and while you guys are doing this, I'm going to ask you guys something. Um, as a writer, and I see people using AI to write a story and stuff like that, it sort of like pisses me off because I feel like in a way like it's cheating. But then I look at myself and I'm a cheater because I'm not an artist and I can do all these incredible things with AI where I can get Magnum PI hanging out with the bad boys Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. I can put them together, and AI does it for me. And if you look on my Facebook timeline, you see all this AI artwork that I've created, and I'm actually loving it. So I'm actually uh, I get mad at the writers using AI, but I should be mad at myself for using AI for art. But
Paradox.
Yeah,
Paradox, huh?
I mean,
I
it's a
get
really cool opportunity for people that can't draw because I know people that would love to be able to draw, and it's just something that they've never really been able to develop. Ben from Empire Comics, he has artists do his work because he's not able to draw, and it's kind of cool to see the artists he hires and bring his works that brings his work to life. But I can see doing something like that if you're not able to do it, and there's so many possibilities of cool things you can do with it. So there's definitely some cool things and possibilities with it for sure.
This is cool. This
that
is
is
cool.
cool. That is cool.
Oh man. Right on. That's a perfect angle too.
yeah,
Yes.
I think AI can be, it's fun to play with a little bit. Like I say, I draw the line calling it art because I feel like you're, essentially commissioning a robot to, you know, put something, to your ideas and things like that. But it's not, you know, people are people aren't really making anything there, but but I also look at it a little bit like it's kind of like kind of like the candy versus the wholesome meal, right? Like you can
Ah,
it's not as nourishing, the AI images that can be generated. It's you don't have the depth of what an artist brings
yeah.
to artwork, but it tastes like candy and it's addictive and you can
Can't
keep
once
on.
it can't stop, huh? What
Yeah,
about
you can keep
Neuralink?
eating
What about Neuralink? Number one, if that was helping a person, do you think that's cheating? And do you think if they did art from a person that never could do it at all, and they had Neuralink and that helped them actually do automatic art, what do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, see, I think with the Neuralink, I would hope that they could, yeah, make some creative decisions. To me, like every stroke of the pen is kind of a decision, and you're
Okay,
making, all
okay,
these individual decisions, and that's kind of what makes
interesting.
art interesting. Is like every little detail that an artist makes or puts into their work is a design choice of some kind, and I feel like that's what that's where like the humanity is in some of the in some of the creative uh in some of the creative work where like I think AI generation takes that from people a little bit, because you give it some concepts and it makes a lot of decisions for you, and so I feel like that's interfering in the artistic process in a lot of ways.
Hmm,
I
that's a
think
good
AI is
point.
probably the worst thing that's happened to humanity at this point.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was
Terminator
optimistic
is
about it,
coming.
but now the more and more I
It's
learn
looking
about it,
good, man.
I think
Thanks.
Yeah.
it's absolutely horrible. I mean, they're tearing down forests here in Florida to build data centers. They're
Yeah.
using they're using the amount of water that a nuclear reactor needs to cool this damn things. The compute power is outrageous.
Cool.
And what are we using it for? Doodles to rip
Right.
off artists so we can make jingles for some assholes, fucking, podcast. Really? That we're using the greatest, computer power, mental power, the IQ of 2000. What is it, Zandine? Now,
Yeah, yeah, it's got to be like 900 to a
yeah,
thousand at least. I
right,
mean,
right.
because
We're
yeah,
using super villain IQ now for podcast horseshit. Instead, we could be using it to maybe, I don't know, cure cancer, something like that, something more noble. But no, as it goes, what does mankind do with a technical breakthrough? Let's focus on
what's
curing
that?
Viagra so we can give 90-year-olds hard-ons or cure balding. I mean, it is idiocracy.
Whoa!
It's there was a Mike Judge. Mike Judge had it right when he made Idiocracy.
Yeah.
He saw the future.
So if you guys DM me your address, I can send you guys each some original artwork as a thank you for having us on.
Yeah, please hold that up one more time, please.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
That
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 was
was that was
awesome, Matt. Thank
that
you.
was
Yes,
awesome, man. You did. Look at
yes.
this, man. That's talent
Cool.
right there.
Well,
Look,
oh yeah,
I
that
wanted to
is
ask you
cool.
I
why
appreciate that,
rabbits?
brother.
Because you've got more than one rabbit as a character. Why rabbits?
Monty Python.
Awesome.
Monty
Benny
Good
Python
Hill.
answer.
inspiration, and then there's like Bongo, and then there's the samurai rabbit. What was it? Wasagi? You know,
Yeah,
Yeah, Usagi Yojimbo, yeah.
um, so it's just kind of when we were growing up and we were first introduced to Monty Python by a seminary
um,
teacher that was really really great guy. We watched it and we thought it was hilarious, so we started drawing bunnies. And then one time it was hilarious because it was we had an evening activity at the church and they had a chalkboard and we had some chalk, and so we were drawing dead bunnies and like Sadocat and Rabbit-Walrus and stuff on the things, killing
yeah,
animals. And we didn't hear anything for weeks. And we had this really crazy, uptight, like over the top religious seminary teacher. And she brought the class in and she said, I need to tell you guys something. There was drawings left in the classroom, and the drawings were satanic. And Corey was there. I don't think I was
Yeah,
there that
man.
day with
The
another
class,
it
guy.
wasn't satanic.
it's a very serious, like, the class doesn't know what she's talking about. So they're all like, really? There were satanic drawings in here? And like me and like
They're
one
thinking
other guy know what
anagrams
was
and
going
stuff.
on. And we're just like, I can't just start busting up laughing right now because I'll just out myself as the satanic, guy. So I
satanic.
we just had to sit there and like try to keep a real straight face. That was pretty
Satanic.
So him and a friend of ours just would not look at each other because they just knew that if they did.
It's over. Yeah, it's over. It's over. You start busting
was
up,
it,
you get in trouble.
Satanic panic.
Night of the Lepus about giant rabbits. Night
I
of the
saw, I
Lepus.
saw a B movie about giant rabbits one time. I
Yeah.
feel like they had to electrify.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
tracks to kill
Remember
them off.
one? I can't remember what
Got a
it's
few?
called. When I was a kid, it actually scared me. It was giant man-eating rabbits, and I don't remember the name of it.
That's like creature features, man.
Yeah, we used to watch
I think
that.
it was Night of the
saw some-
Lepus with Lee Majors.
That
Was
sounds
he in
right.
that?
Oh, I didn't even know he did that, man. Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna have
I'm
to
not
look
sure.
that one up. I watched Watership Down like a billion times as a kid.
That traumatized me as a kid. It was really, dark and scary,
It
but
was
it
dark.
still left an impact. Like I want to watch it again. Like now, I haven't watched it in years and see what I think of it.
Wow,
You know
shit
what?
down, huh?
Worth.
Shit, I got traumatized by
Well, I could
Poseidon
draw
Adventure.
Harvey.
Traumatized me.
You know what movie I want to see? It's coming out. Willie E. Coyote versus Acme.
Oh,
Ah, there
I'm
you
excited
go.
for that one. I
Coming
got
out on my
to
birthday.
Wait,
a panel at Comic-Con.
When is that coming out?
August 28th.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And
I could-
also too, I want to see He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
That looks fun.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
like
Tonight I'm going to go see the back rooms.
Oh yeah, man. He's from out here. Hey, isn't he? He's from like Fremont or somewhere. He's like from your neck of the woods. The guy that made it. He's from out here.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. He got it.
His movie made more than Star Wars.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and back rooms, he got the idea from a furniture store in San Jose, California. And
Oh, really, Paul? I didn't know that. What
Yeah,
what happened now? What?
no, he got the idea. The back rooms
Uh-huh.
at a furniture store that's abandoned in San Jose, California, and also too.
Oh wow.
I mean, I've already seen back rooms because it was put on the internet and I saw it illegally. Ha!
Oh man. Hey, but
Isn't it-
when I was a kid,
robots
this
in
is
the
what I would
backyard.
do. I
You're
had
going to
one
get
of
an
those-
ankle bracelet.
Stealing content, Paul.
What'd you say,
Artist of
Corey?
the word, man.
I was saying when I was a kid, I had a medicine cabinet next to my sink with a mirror on it, and if you tilt the mirror towards the other big mirror, it makes this like I would put my face kind of close in there, and it just seemed like a never-ending hallway that kind of goes deep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
Oh
I used
shit.
I used to peek in there and try to see as far as I could down this like mirror hallway and imagine what might
Yeah.
be at the end of that thing.
Insane.
And sometimes that would freak me out.
That's
Yeah.
where the demons live.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they've been doing this trick on the internet where they show you put something like if you have an object, put something in front of it, and then you actually put the object there and then put something in front of it, and you can still see it on both
Oh,
sides.
yeah.
But then if you take it away, yeah, that little trick. But I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Paul. I interrupted you. I'm sorry, Paul.
We got 2 minutes, Paul. Let
We
him
need to
tell
get
us
Corey's
what
sketch,
he
man.
learned.
Okay,
Yeah.
listen. Steve, Phil, Zandine, I am going to give you the link to Matt and Corey. So if you
Okay.
want to request your
Yeah.
original artwork, provide them with the address. And also to Matt, Corey, how can people reach you?
Look at this. Oh,
Yeah.
We
So
got
this
2
is-
minutes. Oh, this is cool.
You-
This is
you can
Oh my
reach
God!
us.
Look at this.
Go to
Oh
plotless.com.
man.
So this is me
Oh.
working on Sadocat number 4. I'm just putting my thumbnail sketches together. And
Nice.
here's a scene where
Ooh.
I've got a character coming in and hitting Sadocat. Sadocat here is he just fried a bird. He says, "Yeah, stupid
Oh,
bird, you'll
this
make a
is
good
nice.
snack." And he says, "I can't fight evil on an empty stomach." And this guy shows up from behind him. He's a superhero.
I
He says,
can't
"Justice
fight
from
it.
above." And
That
then
is cool.
That's good
and then
shit.
he knocks Sadocat down into this building, which is going to be a hot dog business. And then these bystanders are like, "What's all the hubbub?" And he goes, "Oh, it's the Mr. Dingus Flaming Hot Wiener Factory. It's been hit by some kind of missile strike." And he goes, "Oh man, not again."
That looks
And,
like Wiener Schnitzel's the delicious one.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good.
And then I've got this guy showing up. His name is Night Fox. He says, "Don't worry, citizens. I, Night Fox, leader of the Creature Corps, will ensure the safety of your beloved wieners." And this guy's like, "Well, I guess we could just say hot dog." And he goes, "That's not the dingus way." So that's kind of how this thing's going. This is Mr. Dingus here now. He says, "Now to finish off Sadocat. Hello, I'm Mr. B.H. Dingus, founder of the Dingus Cylindrical Meats Incorporated. There's no sign of any cat in there." And he's like, "Where can he be?" So yeah, things are afoot. Sadocat's going to be bursting out, and we're going to have a battle here soon. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been working
Man,
on.
you are talented, man. Dang.
That
That's
is
crazy.
awesome. That is
I would be
awesome.
So
to be able to read that out loud and make it laugh. It's crazy.
So yeah, I have a
so
lot of fun.
www.plotless.com. You can order our books, and